Welcome to Dirty AF, the podcast where we get down and dirty with dirt track racer Jason Brandes and his race crew. We'll go over highlights, lowlights, and everything in between. Sometimes you'll laugh, sometimes you'll cry, and there might even be times where you get downright angry with us. But in every episode, we hope that you are left with the desire to join us in getting dirty as...
Welcome to the 6th episode of Dirty AF. I'm your host, Nicole Wilson, and it is the evening of July 23rd, 2021. And I am sitting here tonight after the races at Gravity Park with Jolly and Jason. On the track tonight, Jason came in 3rd in the heat race and 4th in the feature. So boys, what was going on tonight?
Hotter than the devil's ass out there. That's what was going on.
It's hot in this trailer right now.
Yeah, right. I don't know. We had a good car. Drove it to the best that we could. Heat race kind of sucked. No rear bite in the car, but we made do with it. We still moved up a spot in the heat race, so I mean that qualifies for little heat race points anyway. Help us gain a little more. Other than that, not much. I mean, we don't even have to pound a dent straight.
Nope. It was a clean race. It was a good race. It was pretty much all battle. It was pretty much anybody's game. If anybody slipped up in the top 4, I mean,
yeah.
Realistically, it was anybody's game. If one guy just picked the wrong line, went in a little hard, but everybody kind of stayed consistent. It was kind of a battle all the way through. And it was,
pretty much all you had to do was hold your line and
you just keep running.
Don't screw up. That's pretty much what it was.
And it was just a couple of guys on the outside had a little more momentum, found a little more attack, and got a little better bite coming out of 4. But other than that,
yeah.
I mean, turn 2 was completely different. Turn 2, you did really well out of 2, where they had a little more of a struggle on the high line.
Yep.
But then on 3 and 4, they kind of gained all that back on 3 and 4. I mean, overall, it was just a good race. Everybody kind of held the line, and I mean, you and Dirks kind of were in the same line, and you guys, it's not like you were crawling up and trying to get them out of your way. You just kind of kept that distance, and Warner and Gundram on the outside kind of did the same thing to each other, and they just had a little more momentum out of 4.
Yep.
Overall, it was a pretty good race. We're starting to get a little better at this dry thing in black, and
the dry slick thing is definitely coming around. In
the heat race, though, I noticed that you could see the car wasn't turning good, and you didn't have any rear bite, but when you're watching a couple races, it's like, oh, it don't look that dry, and then all of a sudden the sport bots run while we're trying to get ready to go to line up, and all of a sudden you come back up and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot more black and a lot drier than I thought it was going to be for 2 heat races. And
right. But you know what, though? I mean, to me, that the heat race part don't bother me so much. As long as the car is good in the feature and we continue to be consistent in the feature, I think that's the important part. Heat race is more trial and error stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed the heat tonight going to Ellie's softball tournament, but when I came, when we were watching, I noticed all the cars were driving up high.
Yeah.
It was pretty black down in the center.
We were trying to find a little bit of moisture up top to get a little back. So if their car isn't handling well in the black and in the dry slick, they try to move up and try to find a little moisture to get a little more bite. So that's kind of a technique. If the car's not set up to run in the black, they try to find moisture to see if they can get it to move a little better. That's kind of what a driver does. And even Jay and heat race here, you ran a line higher than you were for a while.
I tried to, because I knew, like right from the get-go, when the green flag dropped and I got it to the bottom, I knew already within the first lap or so that nope, that was not the place to be, because the car wasn't happy. Because sometimes you got to turn them cars so hard to get them to turn on dry. Anytime I rolled back to the throttle or whatever, I could feel just the wheels just basically burning right off the back end of the car. So I moved it up, I don't know, probably a line and a half, I think. And one time it really almost got away on me, and I almost put her in the wall. And I was like, all right, how about I'm just going to take what I'm given here and let's just finish this race without racking the car up,
And sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, if the car ain't there, you just got to kind of take what it has. And like you say, at the end of the day, it's a heat race. And
I mean,
all it does is give you information for the future. So.
Right. I mean, after that heat race, the first words out of your mouth or out of my mouth to you were there was no bite. The thing was loose as hell, and
I saw that from watching.
Yeah, and you said, well, yeah, I seen that in the first lap or so. Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't turning either because you could watch the whole front of the car skid when you were trying to turn it around the corner. So I knew that it wasn't getting good drive, and it wasn't doing what you wanted it to do. So it's one of the things as we've been moving on and going along that I'm getting better and better. I mean, I know what that car is not doing for him just by watching it.
Right.
And all I know is at the end of the day, when he comes in, I almost know what he's going to tell me. We're getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, my bad. A little too much of this, not enough of that.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't quite right. And we made some adjustments, and like I said, the car looked great, actually.
The car was really, really good in the feature.
And I was happy. You for a brief moment, you were up to second, and you know you ran there for a while. Then that caution came, and then restarts there were a little shady.
I was sleeping. I was taking a nap. Like he hit the throttle a lot sooner than what I thought he did.
You were like a half a car length behind him at the freaking green flag. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Like, did he not know that they were going this lap or what?
Well, no, because the previous restart, when I started in the same spot, I almost bumper tagged him because he didn't hit the throttle. You know, and I was like, oh, okay, so
he's gonna wait till the tire. And
so I was thinking when that restart was coming, you know, again, I was thinking, well, he's gonna wait till the tire just like he did before. But no, this time he started just shortly after coming into 3. He was already on the gas, and I'm like, Christ, I'm sleeping back here. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know. But the problem that I had was 3 and 4 was so tough again.
Yeah.
That it's not like I could just get back into the throttle, neither, because if I'd have touched the throttle as hard as I wanted to, I'd have looped it on the restart, and that wouldn't have looked good. So I thought, well, let's just take her easy here. We'll find a way to, you know. And towards the end of that race, I noticed the harder and harder I drove that car into 1 and 2, I was catching Dirks. I was catching him, and I was watching it happen, right in front of me. So we had a good car. Probably a top 3 car, not a top 4 car. And I think that it very well could have been a second place car as well. I really don't think. I really, and this is in my opinion, I think that if Parker is not on the bottom in my line, with the 2 cars on the high side, Matt and Gundram being up there on the high side, if Parker is not in my way and I get to run the bottom the way I like to run the bottom, I don't believe Warner and Gundram catch me. In my honest opinion, because that's how good the car was. Yeah, because
at the same time, you know, and that's kind of what I was hoping. Watching it was like, I was kind of hoping that Dirks would kind of slide up, like driving a little hard once he started seeing Warner and Gundram on his outside.
I was seriously
and
waiting
he would drive a little harder, and he would have came up a little bit and opened the door for you. And I'm like, but he just kept holding the line. He drove it the same lap after lap, and you did the same thing, and so did them other 2. And like I said, you watched the last 10 laps, it was like deja vu every lap. It was like you guys all took the same line. You were all kind of this. It was like you guys were in unison, just doing the same thing every time, and it was just that little bit of a bite that they had out of 4 that crept them past you guys running on the inside.
But I didn't want to drive the car like. I was driving the car hard, obviously, but I didn't want to drive the car hard enough, especially when I noticed myself starting to catch Parker. I didn't want to drive it so hard to the point to where my nose got to his tail, because
then you lose even more momentum.
Because then I bump him and I lose more momentum. So I just felt the need to just keep holding my line, even if there were points where I didn't get the car wide open or whatever. I just took what it gave me. We hear the flagman tell us this in the earpieces all the time through the transponder. Race the track. Don't race each other. The track is going to get you before another car will. So if you can figure out how to drive the track that's out there, you don't have to worry about another car getting you. You know what I mean? Like, if you start driving like an idiot, the track is going to eat you alive. Period. You start driving like, I got the biggest motor on the planet, the track is going to eat you alive. You drive how you know how to drive, and you drive what the track gives you. Pretty simple.
But I feel, I mean, after our week off last week with the specials and whatever that were going on here with the wingless sprint cars and all that, and to come back and like, okay, what am I gonna do here? Like, not that you forget about it, but you're at the same time, you're like, okay, where were we 2 weeks ago when we were here last and trying to set it up for the drive?
Well, and then we had that head scare this week too.
Yeah.
The car sat in the trailer for a week. I think maybe was just angry with us because we let her sit in there.
Yeah.
She was upset. She was like, "What are you guys doing to me here? Putting me in a closed box,
can't
whatever."
in my garage where I belong.
Yeah. Why am I not in my garage stall? Where am I? But thank God that's not the case.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought we cracked a head at the hill 2 weeks ago. We had some moisture coming out of the exhaust. Apparently, we did not crack a head because we don't have that problem. It just must have been, I'm assuming, moisture built up from sitting in the box.
And the humidity. And
Yeah, I
now.
think it was upset because it was in the box. It didn't like it.
But yeah, overall, I mean,
Overall, good night. Can't be happier. Another top 5 finish.
Yep. Consistency, and I'm like I said, I'm ecstatic with the consistency.
We
I'm proud of our consistency.
Well, you ain't the only one. You're starting to see fans that are noticing it.
Yeah, we seen, I swapped 3 tires out this week and put new rubbers on, and that always throws a wrench in the system because now you got to figure, okay, what size are these tires? How do they line up with the tires we got?
Are they going to work for what we have?
Does it help me with my stagger? Does it screw me on stagger? Can I get the stagger I want? And all that other stuff, but all in all, it turned out really well. I had a good mix again, so I mean, we had some fresh rubber too to deal with it.
No thanks to Phil from work too. Phil runs a sport mod, so he at Plymouth, and he only he runs 1 or 2 nights on his tires, and out the door they go because them guys will burn them off in a heartbeat. But I mean, I brought you 7 used tires this week, and I mean, we got a tire supply going on at the shop now.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I got the new one, and I looked at it.
We got a brand new one. We didn't even put on a rim yet.
No, we're not ready for that yet. They're hard to find, man. I don't want to burn them all up. We got some weeks to go yet. I have to keep that one to the Fall Classic for all I know.
Well, rumor has it though, Performance got a shipment in on Thursday, so. I mean, if we need to do a little shopping, we might have to do a little shopping just to get a brand new set back in the shed. But,
Yeah. But, yeah.
All in all, good night.
Yep.
Couldn't be happier. Again, I think this is our 5th, 6th top 5.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a podcast without mentioning your good friend Zitzer too. So we gained a few points on him to get a little closer to that 30% points.
This is the first thing. This is the first thing I thought of on one of those restarts or whatever. All of a sudden, I seen that old '64 red, white, and blue car pull up to my outside, and I went, "You stay out there because you ain't gonna catch me down here."
Yeah.
And the only reason why he probably got that close to me, probably because the caution came out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think.
Yeah, well, and
I feel bad for the guy because I heard it through the receiver that something broke in his front end or something.
His right front tire was like doing a major wobble shake.
Yeah, something went south on him.
He tried to hold it. I'm pretty sure he finished the race, which props to him to hold on to that car because that right front tire was all over the place. Like, I'm not sure what direction it was pointing. He turned the wheel left, and that tire was still wanting to go right.
Yeah, I mean, you always suck. It always sucks though to see somebody that you're pretty competitive with.
Yeah.
It sucks to see something break on them. I mean, we all know these race cars ain't cheap.
Yeah.
But then again, sorry, Mike, we gained a ton of points on you tonight. I don't care now.
Yep, just closing the gap.
Just closing the gap. I mean, better luck next week.
But other than that,
very good night.
Right now, the goal, we're going to the hill tomorrow?
The way I feel, honestly, I'm thinking.
Depends on how you feel in the morning.
Yeah, because right now I feel I've felt like a big bag of smashed assholes for the past 3 days.
What do smashed assholes feel like?
Oh my God, you have no idea.
I don't want to know.
Like it literally sitting here right now. It hurts to talk. It hurts to hold my fucking head up. I want my eyes to go shut. Like I am seriously, I'm just crying for my pillow in the air conditioning right now because this motherfucker is hotter than a devil's ass out here, and I don't like it.
All right, well then I guess that's a wrap for tonight. I'm gonna wrap this episode up by thanking you both so much for sharing.
No,
this
we
conversation.
appreciate you doing this every week with us. Like, just to sit down and talk about it. It's fun to do this. We're trying to get people to come and join us on the show. You know, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, we had Todd, our hood sponsor, here. It's always fun to hear from somebody else.
Yeah.
We tried to get Carly, who won the feature tonight, and she was like, "Oh, it's going to take that long. I don't want to leave my family hanging."
Yeah,
and I get that.
She had a good crowd at the pit box.
Yeah.
Carly is our next door.
Our pit neighbor that won the feature tonight in the stock cars. So
we'd like to congratulate her on her win again tonight. That's her second win in
Second.
the last
win this year.
I think
the last couple of weeks, like last
4 weeks or 5 weeks, I think. They battled some motor problems for a while there. So
Yep, I got a picture of her car and her trophy, and I gave her a shout out on our Brandis Racing
perfect,
Facebook page.
perfect. I mean, Dean helps us out a lot. So anything that them guys do over there, we support them too. So
because Dean last year he's the one kind of gave me a whole lot of insights,
a whole lot of knowledge you gained.
And he's still there. I mean, and it's nice that he comes over. Hey, do you got this part? Do you got this part? And we go over by him. Do you got this part? Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
Right.
It's great. They're great people, and
Great family to race with.
Yeah, congratulate Carly on her win.
Yeah, congratulations, Carly.
All right, and thank you everyone for listening. We have so many amazing followers that show us such great support while we're here doing what we love. New episodes of Dirty AF are released on Tuesdays at noon Wisconsin time on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Be sure to subscribe where you are listening so you don't miss an episode. And just a reminder that we want everyone here listening to come join us in person every Friday night at Gravity Park in Chilton, Wisconsin. The pit gates open at 3, the spectator gates open at 5, and the races start at 7. We'll see you then. Thank you.
You have been listening to Dirty AF, the podcast with the Brandis Racing crew. Join us again next week where we will once again be getting dirty as...